Welcome back to Ask the Expert. Becoming a brand. You want to know, be known as Facebook, Google, and all the big brands? Well, you always need to ask the experts. So Susan Yang, welcome back. Thank you for being with us again.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, we talk about this and people are going to be able to find the link down there on the YouTube channel and all the channels on the website. And we talk about that you can be the best in what you do. And paraphrasing you, you don't want to be anymore the best hiding secret, because you can know a lot, but if you don't have the chance to share it, if you don't pass the torch, why you have so much knowledge? So related to branding, how you become a brand. You have more than 20 years in experience as a journalist, as a producer. You know when people used to bring information to you, what emails you open, what you know open. Great, we have that done. Now, how you become the brand that people want to read about it, people want to pitch about you.
Yeah, the key here, Susan, is to really be able to have a dynamite elevator speech, an elevator pitch. When somebody says, hey, what do you do? Or tell me a little bit about yourself. And our heads tend to explode, frankly, and we want to stay away from that. We want to be really concise and on target, always thinking about who the audience is and not to be self-serving. So that's how, have learned and perfected the elevator speech. One of my clients early on told me, when I was coaching her, she said, Sue, I stood up at a Rotary Club meeting and I have an MBA in marketing. And I had to introduce myself in front of a room full of people. And I was so humiliated. I was stuck and tangled up in all my words. And, when I worked with her at the end, it was like, oh my gosh, thank you for helping me untangle my words. I'm no longer humiliated or embarrassed, but I look forward to actually introducing myself and sharing just a 30-second commercial. It shouldn't get us that tripped up and fouled up. So I'm happy to share everything with you here in this program.
Please, I'm begging you. At this point, I'm begging you, please teach me how to do that.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is just pop up the screen here and share the slide deck so that you can, let's see.
Oh, I like the word dynamite and blowing everybody's head when you're talking.
Yeah, it's a big thing because, otherwise it's like we want to get results. And sometimes we need results that are we need to just get rid and blow up the old stuff and start something fresh. And really what it comes down to is that a lot of it's in our head. We need to reframe our narrative and our soundtrack saying, I'm shy, I'm reserved, I'm not good in front of people, I don't like to, talk, I'm a little bit reserved, my personality is not like that. Forget that. That's not going to serve you well in business. And so often, like we said, we have to get out of our own way. And really, a lot of people have done that. Cher has done that. She's reinvented herself. Lady Gaga has reinvented herself. Oprah started out as a local weather person on a TV station in Baltimore, and she certainly has reinvented herself. And so you can too. The reality check is that we wind up standing up in front of people and talking about ourselves. But the bottom line here is that, friends, nobody cares about you, and they don't care about me either. So don't be offended. That's BS. They don't care about us. They care about themselves. And how are we going to make their lives better? How are we going to help them sleep easier at night? How are we going to help them overcome their challenges? That's what they want to hear from us in our elevator speech. So, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in New Jersey, and I know a lot of four-letter words. And they're not the vulgar ones that you might be thinking of, but the nice ones that my parents and grandparents taught to me: help, team, best, love. I mean, my kids think it's corny, but the F word, the four-letter word, is we need to flip our communication. It's not about us, but we need to turn the spotlight onto the audience and the people that we're trying to reach, who we can help with our expertise. So we want to think about the problem and the solution, because that's how our minds work. This is a lot of psychology, which I've been studying for a long time, and business communication is that we usually stand up and say, this is what we do, but we really want to focus on, people think about a problem first and then the solution. So it's as simple as this example that Donald Miller from StoryBrand shares. Stuck in traffic, I sell scooters. It can be that easy, okay? Stuck in traffic, I sell scooters.
Hey,
So,
that's how I get my scooter. I have a red scooter because in Chicago traffic, it's crazy. You always get stuck in traffic. And I saw an advertisement, and now I have a big truck and then a scooter. Hey, I'm a victim of that advertisement. It's work.
it works because you can't solve the problem. You can't offer the solution if there's no problem. So we want to set up the problem and then the solution. So I have a formula which I'll share with you in just a couple of minutes here. So stick with me here. We'll dive deep into that. But it really does talk about having that personality and having that charisma to deliver this speech and to be comfortable with your words and being able to weave in your personality. So what I want to just touch on here is, what is charisma? It's defined as in a lore, a charm, a special style. It's a magnetism, like what draws people. If you think about people who are charismatic, what draws people to them? Now, it might be somebody in your family, it might be a coworker, it might be a celebrity that you admire, a sports figure, but somebody who's kind of got that magnetism, people are drawn to them. They tend to be empathetic, they have compassion, and they're good listeners. They tend to be lighthearted and fun. They have a good sense of humor. They don't, make jokes about people and insult people. And they have that style that shows that they're approachable. People like to come to them and that they're relatable. So this is how you can develop that charisma on your own if you think that you might not have it. Look, frankly, I mean, if somebody would have told me 20 years ago or 30 years ago that I'd be doing this and I'd be speaking in front of conferences to 100 and 200 people and doing these videos and all, I would have laughed in their face. I'm like, that's not me. I'd rather sit home in a closet by myself. That's typically what I say. And now people are like, wow, you do that? How do you do that? And it's by watching people. I've been, as I say, life's little observer. And check out and start to watch the people who you admire in your own world. Maybe, like I say, it's a colleague or a celebrity that you like. Watch their interviews. What kind of characteristics and traits do they have that you might be able to adopt and bring into your own world, and then kind of put that into your toolkit, your toolbox, and not to be them, but to adapt your own special style in your own way, in your own words, with your own personality. You might also want to look at people who you don't admire or who, might be a little bit too much or not specifically your speed, and stay away from those traits too. But charisma is super important when you want to get in front of a room of people and share your elevator speech about, who you are and what you want to do. You make it look friendly and approachable and magnetic, and people will come up to you afterwards and say, hey, tell me a little bit more. And that's what these elevator speeches are really all about. This isn't about, it's about planting those seeds, making people curious so that when you deliver your elevator speech, they'll have enough intrigue and come up to you afterwards and say, I want to know more. Tell me a little bit more about this. Where's the mystery? It's going to be intriguing. So let's break it down. I'll use my example as a publicity strategist and a visibility strategist. I work with, who's my ideal customer? I work with entrepreneurs. What do they want? They want to get publicity so that they can increase their visibility, their credibility, and their revenue. Those are 3 outcomes. Now, this might seem very simplistic, but it's actually very difficult to craft this because, people will say to me when I first start coaching them, well, what are the results you get for people? Well, we have good customer service. I'm like, no. Every entrepreneur and their mother is going to tell you we have great customer service. Who's going to tell you their customer service sucks? They're not. So we want to dig a lot deeper than that. We want to get to the core and the heartfelt emotional part of what do people want. So I'm going to break it down for you just a little bit more now. Here's the actual formula, which is from, whoops, I want to go back there a second.
I think I'm gonna rephrase this segment and the segment we did before, and only to says, get your recorder ready or your screenshot capture ready, because it's so much information. Everything is so amazing. Like, yeah, I'm enjoying this segment. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So again, let's break down the formula. I work with, you want to identify your ideal client. So I say I work with entrepreneurs who want to, and what's your expertise? In my case, they want to get more visibility or publicity. So I say, I work with entrepreneurs who want to get publicity and increase, and then 3 results or outcomes that people get when they work with you. What do they want? They want more visibility. They want to be more credible. They want to be seen as an expert or a leader in their field, and they want to make more money. So it's as simple as that, but it does take a little bit of digging, certainly some crafting of, wordsmithing. And so when people say, what kind of things do you get? What are the outcomes? How do you come up with those? Take a look at some of the LinkedIn references and the endorsements that you get. Maybe somebody, a happy client, sent you an email or a handwritten card or a letter, a recommendation or a testimonial. Pull out one of the nuggets, okay? We're talking about speaking in sound bites. That's what we're looking for here, of what people are pleased about the results that you've gotten for them. So even if it's like I have a case study, it's 6 pages long, but I can take out one paragraph. You want to think of like in the movies where you walk into the movie theater and it'll say, biggest thriller of the year, or thrilling, edge of the seat scary, or Clint Eastwood at his best. Those little splashy nuggets, that's what we're looking for. What do you get? What's the main themes that people keep telling you in these endorsements and testimonials that you do for them? What's the result that you get? And those are your 3 outcomes, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so when you sit with this formula a little bit, and you're going to have to rework it. I've done it many times. It doesn't come at the first shot there, so be prepared to revise it, but be prepared to dig deep, and it'll definitely be worth it. So the part of the formula that's important is you must have these phrases in there. I work with, want. You want to have the word have, and then 3 to 5 outcomes. And this is based on psychology and emotional triggers. So that's why the formula and phrasing it in this order, in this way, is important. So keep that in mind as well. And then what I would suggest, and I think some entrepreneurs might be doing this already, you might do some visualization, talking about that soundtrack. I can do this. I'm confident and I'm charismatic and I'm prepared. Visualize you being up there in front of the Rotary Club or the Chamber of Commerce or your women's group, whatever, your CPA association, and delivering a great elevator speech. Not that you're falling apart and embarrassed and humiliated, but you've got this down pat. You've got the gestures and the body language and the smile, easy breezy, confident but humble, not arrogant or pompous or pushy. And see this in your head. Play that mental movie so that you can get out of your own way and really go up there and plant those seeds so that people will come up to you after the introduction and say, hey, can I have a card? Can we meet for coffee? Tell me more about what you do. See your success, not you falling all over yourself as a bumbling fool, but somebody who really has nailed down this dynamite elevator speech. And then the last thing is, if you need help or coaching or anything, like I said, I've been doing this a long time and love to help folks who are entrepreneurs and professionals who want to really nail their elevator speech so that you can build your business and make a greater impact. So SueYoungMedia.com is the website. There's individual and group coaching. Happy to talk with anybody.
Susan, we didn't talk about this, but this is a question come up to me before. Why do you think people have so much difficulties when they know what they do? In order to become an expert, to be coaching or teaching or explaining or helping everyone, you need to know what you do, because the string of the mass show really easy. So you know what you do. Why do you think people have so many problems with the elevator speech, to tell them what you do in 45 seconds when you need to stand up in a meeting and says, that's who I am?
It's because we're trying to put too much information into, we're trying to stuff like 10 pounds of junk into a 5-pound bag. And so we're trying to tell them everything. And most of the things we're trying to tell them aren't relevant to them. So again, we want to start with the problem and the solution, and in a way that brings them into the story. It's not about us, but we're going to flip our communication and make it about them. That's where we get tangled up. The way that I set things up is that we have the right words in the right order at the right time to the right audience. And it can be that simple. It's very easy to write something long. It's very difficult to write something short, because we have to pick and choose our words very carefully, and every word has to spin off and dovetail into the next word so it makes sense in a logical, seamless flow. Meantime, you're still dealing with the anxiety possible of, standing up in front of people and, delivering the words and saying it and the gestures and being self-conscious and all that. So that's where trouble starts to bubble over.
Susan, thank you very much. Is anything else you can add? Because my brain is going too fast and I have so many questions that I don't want to extend it too much because this segment need to have a certain time. But is anything that we're missing? Anything else that you want to add?
I would say just speak in sound bites. You want to always focus on the audience and what you can do to help people. Don't be self-serving, but help them to solve problems. And the fewer words you can do that with, the better. And that's why the online coaching, and we also have a program called Story Magnets, which helps you pull out the stories, because in the end, we're not talking about your whole life, we're talking about moments that are relatable. So how can you pull out what's relevant and leave the rest for another day?
Storytelling may be another segment that we're going to do really soon.
Okay, I love it.
Susan Yang, thank you very much. And people, you're going to have the link below to follow the first segment we did. And her information is during all the segments, so you can contact her. And please send us questions so we can keep going. Thank you very much. And this was Ask the Expert. See you next one.